Hi guys. I know I didn't post saying that I was going to do a live. I got off early today and just kind of did some stuff around the house and everything. And then once I got upstairs tonight, I thought, well, I'm just going to go ahead and do some crafting. Then I started, sorry about the mess too, I started wanting to work with my burlap. And I thought, maybe I'll do a scarecrow gnome. And why not? I'm just going to hop on, see who all comes on as well. So I'm just going to move this aside, but this is what inspired me to make a scarecrow gnome. And so I just have it on my table. My room's a mess right now, but I did take little pieces of this that I'm planning on using as well. Just going to set that out of the way. Excuse my mess. So, for the tops of the hats, I already have some stuff planned out too. I put this little sprig together, and it's just 3 pieces. I ended up getting these here. They were 97 cents at Walmart. Hi, Teresa. Yeah, they have more. I don't have all the colors. I could definitely buy out the stores, I tell you what. But I got what I figured I would use right away. So, but yeah. For this sprig, I also got these here. It was 97 cents. Or no, these were $1 at Dollar Tree, I believe. And then I ended up getting these as well. But I just took 1 sunflower, and then one stem of this, and then 1 stem of the leaves in order to get this. And I'm going to put that at the top of my scarecrow's hat. So how I did that was I just put that on there. And I bent my sunflower out just a little bit. That way it kind of gives it a little bit of dimension. And then I'm going to zip tie them together. That's just going to help give me some extra support. But when I think of scarecrows, I think of the fall colors. Any color would work. I mean, you could even make pastels. And like Easter colors would work for scarecrows, but I always think fall. There's really no wrong way of doing the crafts. Just whatever your heart is feeling at the time, and your craft will, as long as you put a little bit of love and fun into it, your craft is going to look amazing. Oops. So I tightened those up, and I put 2 of them in there, and I did leave a little longer stem so it'll fit down inside the hat. So now I have my little sprigs done, and I'll set those aside. Now I've already made my hats, but I'm going to explain how I did those. And I'm going to talk a little bit about my little templates. In the last few days, I have gotten a lot of messages from people wanting to know the dimensions of my templates, because this is what I made to do those gnomes that have the jacket with the popped collar. And I've used this for the beard on pretty much all of them. I think I've even used it on the little pencil. The little pencil ones. I use these templates for those as well. And I'm using them again for the scarecrow. This time, though, I'm not using the smaller pool noodle for these scarecrow ones. I'm going to do the bigger noodle. And I always start by putting felt on the bottom, because I want to fill the center with a little bit of gravel or rock or sand or something, just to give it some weight. Because at the farmer's market, if there's a big wind or anything, the light stuff just flies across the space. So always try to weight stuff down. But if it's not going anywhere, if it's just going to be inside your house, you don't have to weight it down. It can be as light as you want it. So with this beard, I use it for pretty much all of my gnomes. And the ones that I've been making, they're about 14 to 16 inches tall. I have another one that's kind of in progress. So this size here, he'll end up being about 14 to 16 inches tall, and I would use this for his beard. Now, if you were making a girl, a lot of times I will just use a strip and not something like this. I would just use a strip and wrap it around the back so it forms an angle here, so you can put her nose in the center. And then, I took pictures, but I wasn't sure how much those pictures were, if they were helpful or not. But I figured I'll just talk about it during my live. So I would wrap around that strip to where it would form kind of like a little V, and I would put the nose in the center. And then I flop down the front part, and then I would angle in the sides, and then flip over the back. And it kind of creates like a little hump here to where she can like fluff up the back of her hair. And it works great. And then the little cowgirl that I did those two little strips, and I folded them and glued them. And then I rolled it to kind of form like little buns. And then I fluffed up the fur and stuck them on each end, and then put ribbon around there. So you can make it as simple or as detailed as you want. That's just some of the things that I've done with mine. And I've been loving the last few days. Everybody has been messaging and wanting to brainstorm and asking questions. But just know I do work. And if I don't get back to you right away, I'm probably working, but I will message you back as soon as I get that message, I promise. I love talking to you guys. So, with this pattern, this is what I use for the hats. Oh, and for this one here, I'll give you the dimensions again. So when I put it over here, it's a little over 3 inches wide. And then just a little over 3 inches tall. And I curved it up to about 1 inch. So that 1 inch square, that's where I would round it. And then same on this side, I would round it. So that's how I did that. When I made the templates, I didn't measure out anything. I just said, yep, this looks good. And then I put it on the template, drew it, and I said, okay, so the next time's going to be a little bit quicker for me. A lot of times I don't use the templates, but boy, they sure do come in handy if I want to make more than one. And I find a lot of my templates, I refer back to those for several different gnomes that I do, because it might work. What works for one might work for another one. Sometimes it works good, sometimes it doesn't. So then the hat, and a lot of times I make the hat bigger than what this is, but when I first started, this is the size that I used. So it's about 10.5 inches wide. And then it's 9 inches tall. A lot of times, I'm telling you, I can never get too long of a hat because I love it to flop over. And if it flops over considerably, I think it's even more cuter, if that's a word. It's just, I love it. Same with the coat. Sometimes I make it bigger. Kind of depends on your pool noodle too. Or your cone as well. I've got some really big cones, and I plan on making myself, I love the evil eye, so I want to make myself an evil eye gnome. And I have the big cones, with the one I make for me, I'm not going to put the standing legs and everything. I'll probably have him sitting down. But I'm going to use this template, and it's going to be, I'm going to need a little bigger. So I'll probably do 2 widths, you know, in order to do it. Just kind of depends on what size I end up with when I check it out. But with this here, for that, for those winter gnomes and the other ones that I did with that jacket, it is 8 inches wide by 7 inches tall. And that's for the jacket. And then this is to go around that bottom edge for the top of the pants. So that is 2 inches tall and 10 inches wide. Now for the pencil, I don't know if you can see, I have a little mark here. So for the pencil, I ended up needing it smaller because I didn't use a cone for those pencils. And for the ones with the jackets that I've done, I've been using cones. And so those are a little bit bigger. So the small pool noodle that I use, I had to shorten this a little bit because I wanted to do where it looked like the eraser was at the bottom. So with the pink felt, I only used that much of it. So that was 7 inches of this is what I used for the pink eraser. And then of course on the bottom I did pink as well. And then for the little gray piece to look like the metal around the pencil, I used this as well. So it's about 1 inch wide. So that's about half of this. And then all the way to where, let's see, that's 7 inches. And then that just fit between that and the yellow. Now the yellow, I used this, and it went to there. So that was, let me see here, 6.5 inches. And the same height. I just did the 6 inches, and then that fit great around my pool noodle. And then that formed my pencil. And then I used this for the point part. Now the little black tip and the little silver part, that I just winged it. I didn't want to have to make a little itty bitty template. I just did a little triangle of black, glued it in the little piece of gray, and then that I glued into the hat. And it worked out great. And then I used sticky foam alphabet letters for the ABC. What else? Oh, the beads. I've been getting asked quite a bit about the beads too. So I just ended up getting a thing of beads from Amazon tonight, right before the doorbell rang. So this is what I got from Amazon. They are 0.78 inches, and it's just a little wooden ball. Now with the Scarecrow one, I'm using a bigger pool noodle, and I checked to see if I would want the smaller one, that size. It doesn't look right, so I'm going with a bigger one. And with that one, it was just a mixture. So it has big ones and little ones. It doesn't give me all of the sizes. I got those off of Amazon as well. And if I'm going too fast, you can always private message me or ask on here, whatever. Just shoot me a message. I'll let you know as soon as I know, as soon as I get the message. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this. So what I did, I also used this. This is what I used to make the honeycomb with the hot glue on my little beehive, the little flower pots that I turned upside down, made into beehives. I put some glue in here, let it dry, and painted it yellow, and it looks just like honeycomb. That was my 11-year-old granddaughter's idea. Genius. I tell ya, she's going to be a good crafter. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and use this for this as well, because I need a brim for his hat, and I used the triangle to form the regular part. So what I did was, this is what I came up with. So I did that triangle, but I made it way bigger, and I had a sheet of the burlap. I got it at Walmart. I don't remember what the cost of it was, but it was just a big sheet of burlap. And so I cut that big triangle, and then I folded one edge so I'd have a nice seam, and then I glued it. Well, when I did that, it kind of rolled it, like twisted it around, and I thought, that still looks amazing, because it's a scarecrow. He's just supposed to be pieced together. Doesn't have to be perfect. Now, if it would have been straight and everything, it still would have looked cute too. But I think anytime something doesn't turn out exactly how you have it planned, and it ends up being a little bit more unique and has a little bit more pizzazz, it just adds character. So don't get frustrated. That's one of the hardest things, because if you have it all planned out in your brain how you want it, and it doesn't go as planned, the first thing you do is you get frustrated. So that's one thing that I've had to really learn as a crafter. Just go with the flow. If you need to, take a step back, or just take a break, come back. It'll turn out amazing, even if there's a mistake. So I glued that into a cone, but I did not do all the way to the tip, because that is where I'm going to put that sprig of flowers. Hi, Bailey. Now for the brim, I ended up cutting a piece of this shape. So it's not a perfect circle. A lot of people would probably want a regular circle. That's fine. You can make a template. I didn't have one, so I just used what I had. Just look around your room. You'll be amazed at what you find. So I just used my little pad there and cut out the thing. And then I set my pool noodle in the center and cut a hole so I knew where to put it. So then I stuck my cone on top, and then I stuck that other piece over top. Then on the bottom, I'm going to show you on this one, because I did two, because I'm going to assemble two of them. So then I just cut little notches. All I did was cut it once. I did not cut a V. I just cut it once. And then I hot glued that to my rim. And see, this one, it went more straight than the other one. You're going to have that with the burlap. One is longer than the other. It all works out. It all works out. So just whatever works for you, it'll be good. And then also, this one had like a little flap that stuck out. I trimmed that off, which I will probably trim off some of this one too. But you want to make sure that you keep that hole there. That way you have a spot to put your flowers. So see, I just snipped off a little piece. And that's your hat. And if I'm going too fast, like I said, just message me and I will walk you through it. Yes, Teresa. That way, you never have two that are identical or the same. When you go and you buy clothes or something, you'll go through the store and somebody else will be walking through and they're wearing the same shirt that you have in your hand that you're going to purchase. Well, with these crafts, they might have one that's similar, but it's not 100% identical to yours. So it works out. I like that they're so unique. Now, I wanted to put batting inside the hat so it stays upright. And I didn't want to be able to just see space in there, because you can't see it on there, but you can see through it quite a bit. And when I put it on the pool noodle, you'll be able to see that orange there. So what I did, I don't go out and buy tons and tons of batting. The Dollar Tree has these cute little pillows, and I figure I want to use this fabric for something. So I cut the tag off and cut it open, and I'm going to use this stuffing for inside that hat, and then I will use this material for something else. That's just one thing I like about crafting. You know, if I can get a multi-use out of it, that's the best item you can have. And I'm not putting the fill all the way to the top. I'm just putting it in as far as I can go. I mean, you can if you want. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. You just do however you feel. If you want it to go up even further, you can take your scissors and poke it up through there. You just mainly want to make sure that you leave room for the flowers to go in there as well. Okay. So I've got those nicely stuffed. And then I'm going to set those aside for now. Bailey, I'm making scarecrows out of pool noodles. So then I've got some brown felt. And I want to be able to go all the way around this, because that's going to be his body. And on this one, I'm not doing any arms or legs. I just figured, you know, I have so many with arms and legs. I needed something on my table that was a little bit cheaper, to where I didn't have so much supplies in it. This one, I'm not going to need a whole lot of supplies for. So, but if you want to add arms and legs, that's fine too. I just figure, yeah, I don't need it. Alright, so before I put this on though, I'm going to add gravel. I've already got the felt on the bottom, because I want him to be weighted down just a little bit. I'll probably put another one in there. And the gravel, I ended up getting it from the Dollar Tree. But you can use whatever you want. And if you didn't want to weight him down, you don't have to. So 2 of those go pretty far up in there. And then all I did was I just cut a little circle. You don't have to go all the way around, because the hat's going to go on top, so you're not really going to see it. But you're going to want this little circle on there to keep the gravel from falling out if he gets tipped over. And since I'm doing 2 of them, I'm going to just go ahead and do them both at the same time. And when I cut these, I noticed I didn't cut them like 100% straight. That's okay too. He's a scarecrow. If he's leaning, it's just he's a scarecrow. He doesn't need to stand very straight anyway. He's supposed to be slouchy. There we go. Yeah, so see, this one has like a little nub. I just put wherever it wasn't straight enough for me, I'm putting that at the top, and it's going to be hidden with a hat. Okay. So I'm just covering up that hole so those don't fall out. Hi, Sarah. Okay, so I have those done. Then I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to show you real quick. These are the little hats I've done for the scarecrows that I'm going to make. So when it goes on there, it's going to look so cute. Normally, I have more prep done, but tonight I just thought I'm going to go a little bit out of my comfort zone for me. Hi, Roxanne. Okay, so then all I'm going to do is put a bead of glue along this edge. Catch it with my noodle there. And then as you can see, I'm going to have quite a bit left over here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut some of that off. I love my little roller. Some people ask me about that too. It's good for a quilter, but a crafter, it works amazing as well. Just be very careful because that blade is sharp. Okay, and the seam, I always make sure to put that to the back. Yeah, it's in the crafting and sewing section at Walmart, but I'm sure it's in the sewing section as well of like Hobby Lobby, Joann Fabrics. Oh, they work amazing, don't they? Okay. Just be very careful because they are sharp. And I did one live, I can't remember what I was making, but as I was cutting, I was holding fabric and I caught the tip of my finger. So partway through that video, my hand was out of the view of the camera on a paper towel because I was bleeding like crazy and it was not stopping for quite some time. It was for most of the video and I kept having to figure out how to do it. I didn't want to alarm everybody and I didn't want to stop my video, so I went, just go with the flow. And when I watched it back, I knew exactly where I did it, but there was several people, they said they couldn't tell that I cut myself. Oh, you quilt. So do you have all the other blades as well? Or just the straight edge? Because I noticed they have more than one blade. And then I'm just going to glue that little bit. They're going to come together really quick. Yes, I've gotten myself with the glue gun as well. Oh, and on the beard, I did the beards a little bit different for these, just because I have this faux fur that is really long. It's like, I want to use yellow just because it kind of reminds me of straw. So, on the front, I did use this for his beard. But I also want it to come out of the back a little bit, so I did a little strip, just a regular strip. And that's going to be for the back of him. So he's got stuff falling out in the back as well, not just the beard in the front. I hope that makes sense. These here, they're really easy to use, but you just have to be careful and remember to always retract it, because that's when you cut your fingers. But it has the little thing here, when you push it down, that locks it into the where you can use it. When you're not using it, there's a little button. You push that and it goes back, and now it's safe. In order to change the blade, there's a little knob on the back, and you just unscrew that and take this off. You'll put your blade in there, put that bolt or screw it back in there, tighten up your bolt, and it's ready to go. Very easy. They have different blades for it. It works great. The only thing is my memory is really bad, and a lot of times I forget to retract that blade, so I run the risk of definitely cutting my fingers. So what I also did was the little things of burlap. I cut some little squares because I thought, well, I'm gonna want some patches on the hat, or even down on the body. I wanted some little squares. I'm gonna cut a few more, but I wanted to show you what all I had. I'll probably do some more of these. So, and I didn't measure, because I figure when they look like little patches, the holes that are being patched up are different sizes. So you don't really need an exact measurement. So they're not even straight. That would probably drive a few crazy too. Hi, Sam. Let's see. I think I'm going to do another yellow and another blue. I am making scarecrows out of pool noodles. I will show you what all I've got. So all that I did was I cut little pieces of the burlap ribbon. Those are going to be my patches. And then this is the pool noodles. And all that I did was covered it in felt. I figured brown for the body because I'm using a burlap hat. So that's a lighter brown. If I would have used a lighter brown here, I think it would have missed somewhere. And then I also filled the inside with gravel. That one's almost empty, but with the gravel. And then these are the hats that I made out of burlap. So that will end up sitting on there. And then I also made, like, that's going to go inside his hat. These are going to be tall, but I like that about them. I like that they're not going to be really tiny. And I'm not going to have to charge an arm and a leg for these, because there's really not so much into it, because one pool noodle will make quite a bit. And then there is several sprigs of plants flowers and leaves and stuff, and I just took a section of it. Those were 97 cents a piece. So I mean, it's fractions, and I can mark these down to where I don't have to charge $30 like the other ones. The other ones have a little bit more supplies in there. This one, the supplies are cheaper, so I'm able to keep them nice and small priced for my table. So now that I'm on this, before I put the hats on there, I'm going to go ahead and put the faux fur for the beard and the hair. And then I will do the nose after that. So I want to make sure I find the front. There have been a couple times where I lost track of it and I've had to pull stuff away. Thanks. It was just kind of like I came upstairs and said, man, I want to do something. I have some school stuff for the table. I've got everyday stuff. I've got a couple things for Christmas. Like, man, I want to have something that's more fall. And then I saw all my burlap ribbons and I went, scarecrow. I'm going to make scarecrows. And then I wasn't even sure I was going to do a live tonight. I just figured, why not? Once I had everything out, I went, I might as well. And show that I'm using all the same templates that I've been using all this time. I'm glad I made them, because it makes things go a little bit quicker. So the beard, I will put opposite of that seam in the back. And this one, I didn't even round the corners. I just left it a square. And that's still going to look really cute. I'll show you when it gets turned around. But since that fur is so long, if it would have been like a shorter fur, then I would probably round out those corners just so you can see that detail a little bit more. But you're not even going to tell that one of them had cut corners and the other one doesn't. You can use rectangles. See? They look the same. Can you tell which one has the rounded corners and which one doesn't? This is the rounded, this is the not. And then if I switch them, can't really tell. It's about the same. So don't get frustrated if you forget a step or anything, because it all works out. And then those little strips, they're not really even precise. I'm just gonna glue those down in the back. Just so you can, it looks like he's got stuffing coming out from the back as well. The music stopped. There we go. And I could have put it all the way around, but I thought, no, I'm going to save some. You don't have to go all the way around it. So there's that on the back. So you can see on the sides, I don't have anything on there. It's still going to look fine that way. Now, with as long as that hair is, you can trim it if you want, or you can leave it long. I like it just the way it is, just because a scarecrow, its stuffing is always a shambles. So it's going to work out great. Now, with the noses, I'm going to do a little step, and then I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I kind of part the fur. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to bring it up a little bit closer. See where I kind of made like a little hole in there. that's where I'm going to put the nose. But I also want to make sure when I put this down that it's going to work out as well. And that's going to work out really good. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that nose down. And with these wooden beads, sometimes you'll find that it has like a little flaw, like a little dot, or it even has like little stripes. Those just add character. I used to hide those to where it looked nice and smooth on the outside of the nose. It adds character. So now if it has a flaw, half the time I stick that outward. So I'm just going to put a good sized glob of glue on there and then hold it in place so it doesn't fall. Once it dries pretty good, then I'm going to go ahead and glue the other one down. So there's his nose. And when I was at the market last, somebody had come to my table and said, hobos. I went, oh, well, I never thought of that. And then another person, same exact day, came through and they said, hillbillies. You make hillbillies. And I'm like, well, some of them do, I guess, look like hillbillies. I never even put those together. They can be gnomes, and if you want them to be a hillbilly, that's fine too. But to me, they're gnomes. But I'm loving the experience of that farmer's market. So there they are. Same stuff, but they are a little bit different. They have character. So I'm going to go ahead, work on one. I've already stuffed it. I'm going to make sure where this is, I know that this is my back because that's where my seam started. I know it wraps around to the front. Now if you want, you could put this in the front if you want. But I'm going to go ahead and keep that to the back, and I know it rounds up to the front, so it adds character there. So what I'm going to do is just place some glue around this top edge where I'm going to be setting that. And I can add glue later too if I miss any spots. And I kind of hold it to myself just to place it to see how it's gonna sit. And if there's spots where you need to add more glue, go ahead and just glue that down. So there he is so far. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the other one. I'm glad I stuck with the yellow for the hair. Okay. Same thing on this one. I know where that back is. And I'm going to lean him towards me and find out where. And I always have it go down a little bit farther in the back. You might not be able to see the hat or the hair right away, but you can tell from the side it's there. It's kind of like a little peekaboo. Love how these are turning out. And this one, it kind of curls up towards the front. That's part of the character that this gave, because I use that as my template. And then this one, they turn out so cute. And when they fray, there's some like wispies. That just adds so much character to your scarecrow. This one has more of a full curl, and this one just has, it goes up to a point in curl. I used a pool noodle for the body. They're turning out really, really cute. And right here, they could be hillbillies, but it's whatever you're wanting. So then I also grabbed some ribbons. I thought, well, you can add any kind of decoration that you want. I think the flowers I'm going to put in last. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. Just for design. And I know it shines, but don't they say shiny stuff attracts, or does that keep stuff away, keep the birds away? I can't remember. And all I did was glued it in the back there. And then maybe I'll take some other ribbon here. It has a little piece on there, but I'm not finding it. I'll use my little scissors. Oh wait, found it. There we go. Yeah, I can do a little piece of that. So it can add just a little bit of character where there's more than one color. Do that on this side too, but I think on this one I'm going to use that little bit of green just to have them be a little bit different. Yes, now the hats, what I did was I used that template that I used on those with the coat that has that popped collar. I used the same one. I just made it bigger. I cut the burlap way big. I didn't use an exact measurement. Now I have another template for a bigger one. I probably should have used that one, but I used this one from that, from those other gnomes. And then I folded it to form that cone. And then the rim, I cut one of these to give my angles. And then I took the pool noodle, once the burlap was cut, I marked out the center with I used a pool noodle as my guide, and so it left that circle, and I cut that out. Once I made the cone, I put the cone on here just to sit, and then I took that piece that I cut the center out and put it over top, and then on the bottom I snipped and cut into it a little bit, and then those tabs I glued to it. So I hope that makes sense. When it's all done, I keep them on the videos on my page, so you can always rewatch, fast forward, pause, whatever. I keep them on there as long as Facebook will let me keep them on there. I'm going to keep them on there. I'm never going to take them off. And it's cool that you said sunflowers, because this is what's going to be poking out of the top of the hat. Yeah. So sunflowers are being worked in. I thought it would be really, really cute with sunflowers. Okay, so put that back. I'm not even going to measure. I'm just going to go willy-nilly. That's when I make the best choices, is when I don't measure. On certain things, though, I'm glad I made the templates. I just think it works out good. So I'm going to glue this down. Oops. Here we go. Pull that down a bit. And you can add glue here and there wherever you're wanting. So I made them look just slightly different. Oh, you saw the tabs when I had cut those. They look so cute when they're done. Now I gotta decide where I want the little patches and what colors I want together. I think I'm gonna go these colors and those. And I'll probably put the green up on the hat. Maybe I'll put the green with the yellow and the blue down here, because I don't want to put yellow down here where his beard is. I'm afraid that that's gonna take away. Hi, Uncle. No problem. You know my lives normally go about 2 hours, so I have a hard time being quiet. I just keep going and going. And I don't think I'm going to even cut any of these down. I am going to get my little... These here work a little bit better for me. They're actually... You put a cotton ball in there with fingernail polish remover on it, and it helps take your fingernail polish off. But I'm using them to hold down my stuff. I also have the dark pink ones as well. But I'm going to use these to keep from getting burnt. Exactly. And I'm just going to put that on a diagonal there. So there's one patch. I probably could have put it up a little bit further, but he's gonna look cute no matter what. And then with this, the green and yellow I was gonna do up top, I'm gonna switch them. See, it doesn't matter if you make a mistake, it works. I was gonna put the green and yellow up top, but I put that green down below. Threw me off for a brief second. So there's patches down on his body there. And these two I'm going to stick up onto his hat. I bet everybody at work and everyone else that I know is probably tired of hearing me talk about the farmer's market and all of my gnomes, but I can't help it. I'm so addicted. I had like 4 of the big ones, and then just recently, a friend of mine, Sam, she was on here. I don't know if she's still there. She ended up getting me some of the small ones. Anytime I see a pool noodle now, I think, oh my goodness, look at all those gnomes. And what I did was, since I did the patches on this side, when you turn them around, the ones on his hat's going to be on the other side. Just because I figured that'll kind of even him out a little bit. Oh, I love setting up at mine at the farmer's market. It's so nice. Let's see. Since I did blue up top there, I'm going to switch and do, yeah, these on the bottom, those up on top. So I don't forget, I'm putting, oh, well, I did a yellow up there before. The yellow has to go up top. That's right. Because I don't want it to mess with the beard. So this one I'm going to have it go on the other side. This one I had go on this side. This one I'm going to have the top go on that side. That way if somebody buys both of them, they can almost use them for like bookends. And it would be really, really cute. Oh my goodness. Do you guys get as excited about the reveal as I do? I'm like loving how these turn out. Move his beard out of the way so I don't get it caught. There we go. These are just about done, guys. I've only been on for what, an hour? Not too bad. Okay, so there's his hat and his patches. His patches there. Isn't that cute? Or they can be on this side. However you prefer. And then of course I made these little sprigs because they're going to go inside his hat. Just a heads up too, when you use these on your fingers to help protect, your fingers will sweat inside there as well. Hi, Mella. Alright, so with these, I'm going to go ahead and put them in there. Make sure I have it inside that batting. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bead of glue and pinch that at the top. Just to hold that in place. Make sure I have that glue where I need it. there's that one. And I can even bend this down since I have that in there. You know, the little, the rest of the sprig is in there. So you can bend it down how you want it, or you can keep it straight. Just whatever you like. And since I weighted that, he still stays upright. Yes, I'm actually using these. Normally I just keep these for the grandbabies, but I burnt my finger pretty good the other day. So I thought, well, I'm going to protect them today. So I have the flowers in there. I'm going to go ahead and put these in there. Oops, there we go. Put that back on my finger. And I'm going to add my glue. Hold that in place. Oh, they're going to look so adorable. It's kind of funny how I get so excited over the reveal of these. Then I also have some kind of like twine. I'm just going to have some trailing on there too. I'm going to tie it towards the top. I like having little details because I think the little details is what really gets your project. So I'm just going to make a little knot. Did I do the third one? Okay, then I'm going to add a little dab of glue so that twine doesn't go anywhere. And add a little bit on both sides. I'm loving how these are looking. See, I like that little detail. It's just a little itty bitty detail. Didn't take much. But sometimes that little detail is what is the kicker that really sets your project off. Because, I mean, they look great just the way it is. But just that little bit of stuff dangling. I love that. But you don't have to add it if you don't want to. It's just something that I like doing. I can't wait to see the expressions of everybody at the market to see what they think. I'm going to add a little bit of glue to that one too. And I like that I left a longer piece of the wire. That way, if somebody does have a limited shelf or something, they can always bend that down, you know, or make it kind of like a little wavy, just because there's more to work with that stem. Or they can just leave it nice and tall. These ones here, all my other gnomes, I've been having to put like a $30 price tag on there. These here, I could actually sell for $10 to $15. So a little bit less, you know, not have to, I want to be able to have all price ranges on my table. It turned out so cute. I wasn't sure how he was going to look and how they were going to turn out. But boy, they were so much fun to make. Now I need to think of something. I'm going to have to make some Halloween ones to put on my table too. So that'll be another live though, or just pictures. Just kind of depends. If I want to get them done for this weekend, I'll have to do them tomorrow or later tonight. I mean, it's still early enough. I can do those later tonight, just take pictures of the Halloween ones, but yeah, I'm definitely going to have a couple Halloween stuff on my table, because right now I've got a little bit of just every day. I've got some Christmas, and then this is the fall, so might as well put Halloween in there too. With those, I'm pretty sure it's just going to be pictures though, because otherwise I'll be keeping you guys on here forever and ever and ever. And I will do videos later on as well, down the road. I have this weekend off, but got plans, but you never know. This one wasn't even planned, so you never know. Just keep checking back to my page. Also, I don't know if you can see it. Go ahead and do that. I think here in a second I'm going to go ahead and log off. Also, I noticed just a little bit ago before I went live, I am two people away from 800 followers. I just drew names for reaching 750. So this just blows my mind. When I reach 800, I'm going to go ahead and draw 2 names to spread a little sunshine. Everybody needs it right now. So anytime I reach the 50s or the 100s, I will draw names. The 50s will be 1 name, the 100s I draw 2. So if I get 2 more people, if you do that, 9 chances out of 10 we'll get those right away. And then I will draw 2 names and spread a little sunshine. Roxanne, I do too. I get so excited. It's almost like you want to eat popcorn to see, is it going to happen now? Oh, maybe it's going to happen now. So it's my favorite part of the whole thing, is being able to gift, you know, and make somebody smile, make somebody, you know, make their day a little bit better. Today, when I woke up, I was a little blah. Our weather is a little bit cloudy and raining. And I just felt blah today. And a lady that I was on the phone with at work, she really brightened my day. So, I want to be able to spread that sunshine. I wish I could do that every single day, but then I wouldn't have anything for my tables. So, I'm going to go ahead and log off of here. I'm going to go ahead and give them a little spin one more time, just so you can see. And I'll post final pictures like I normally do. Thank you guys so much for... Oops, things are dropping. I tell you, my room needs cleaned and organized. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching me just spend the day in my craft room and visiting with me. I love visiting with you guys, and you're kind of brainstorming and making it your craft as well. And so I will talk to you guys later. You guys have a great night and a great weekend, and I will talk to you later. Have a great night.